Snotty today. Hello and welcome to the 124th episode of Sutton Impact Family Style. I'm Jason.
And I'm Bill, and we got a lot to talk about NBA-wise tonight.
Just crazy.
It's so funny, though, because they kept saying all week that free agency starts at 6 o'clock on Sunday night. And by 6 o'clock on Sunday night, everything was done except for Kawhi Leonard. It appears to be.
It appears to be, yeah.
Yeah. So what are your takeaways, Jay?
Well, the Nets are obviously a very happy team.
Yeah.
I like some of the, like I said, I really like what
Hey, I'm doing well. Can you guys hear us?
I think Golden State, given the position they were stuck in.
Perfect. I have Rasheed Givens with me as well.
Yeah.
He's one of my top sales
It did
reps.
pretty. I wouldn't mind having
How you all doing
in
today?
that situation, get D'Angelo Russ,
Doing pretty good. Thank you.
They got an all-star for a player that's not going to be there for a year.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Which I think is,
everything has been
I think that's a big win for them.
I never
think
thought
about
that I'd
trading
actually be
Andre
here in New
Iguodala?
Orleans. I'm actually from Charlotte, North Carolina. So
I think he's.
it's kind of crazy to be down here.
It seemed
but,
very, and I hate to use this
ever since
word,
I've been
but
down
it's
here,
probably the
been
most
very,
appropriate word.
Very good.
It seemed very
just from
Belichickian.
The people that I've met,
That's a good word.
the clients I've been speaking to as well.
I
and
mean,
just
I hate to give
atmosphere,
all the credit in the
especially now,
world, but,
best kept with
whatever.
Zion
Thanks for everything,
Williamson,
but no thanks.
the trades that we have done.
Yeah.
Even
You were great for us for a while, but we're done with you.
It's really going very well
we're
right
moving
now.
on. I mean, because it looked like
Today was great.
as great as he's been.
It's always Monday, but one of my
I don't know
favorite
how much
quotes
he's
is
got
"Thank
left.
God is Monday" from Eric Thomas.
Agree. I mean, I think that
it was a very energetic type day. Felicia does a great job
Russell,
of
you
trying
gotta take
to steer us in, making sure we
without a
come
doubt.
in, do what we need to do, and
again, I think you're
just have
also
that
looking at
positive
yourself
energy and that
like
positive attitude as well.
we were in the championship last year, but since then we've lost Kevin Durant.
Oh yeah.
We have lost
Sorry, what?
Klay Thompson for a year. Steph is a year older.
Oh yeah, most
Draymond Green
definitely.
isn't a contract
I'm a
year,
Duke
so you
fan,
assume he'll be the Draymond from the last third playoffs of the season where he's healthy and in shape.
Blue
But you never
Devils
really
because
know.
we have like five
So-
Blue Devil guys down here now.
You know,
just have someone like him.
I think you're in a weird spot if you're Golden State.
That has been in the league for a very long time.
I don't think you really realistically think you're a title contender this year. I guess is what I'm saying.
On the offense and
So the
defense,
idea,
it's going to be pretty cool.
No,
to have
I
him
don't
around.
think you're a title contender at all.
And if you can dump Iggy now and bring in a young
I
all-star,
think we can be better than that.
And again, D'Angelo Russell was in a terrible situation with the
Positive
Lakers.
vibes only. I think
Sort
we
of
can
came
be
into his
better
own
than
with the
that.
Nets. And I know the
with a guy
analytics
like
people
Zion
can't shut up
Williamson,
about
he's very
how he doesn't
similar
get to the
to
free
like
throw
a
line
Julius
enough.
Randle.
But
Of course, he's very athletic.
I still look at a
than Julius,
23-year-old point guard
if
that
he
put
can
up
try to put the
all-star
same
numbers
numbers
for
like
most of the
Julius
year. He had a
did,
bad series against
we have a
Philly,
very
but
good
Ben
bench.
Simmons
We
is a
stay
tough matchup
healthy.
for
I
anybody
mean, you never
at
know
that
what may
height
happen.
on defense. So I like what they did going forward.
Yeah, I mean, you never know.
Obviously,
though. Kawhi
people
might
say
come
the
here.
Nets with Kyrie
you never know what may happen.
Kevin are the big
some
winners.
crazy things have happened so thus far these past couple of days. So anything's possible at this point.
We talked a little bit off air, and I know people don't really care about Orlando Magic because I don't know if there's any Magic fans in the world.
Yes,
But
sir. Yes, sir.
I understand that that you did get what you could, but I just feel like you're running back a team that has you already know what the ceiling of that team is.
I mean, it's since that
To commit
day
to
that we
Vucevic
talked
and Terrence
about,
Ross,
we
I don't
got
really
the
know if
number
that's-
one draft pick. It
to me, I don't know
really
if that's a good
hasn't
plan.
subsided. We've been on go
Yeah,
ever
a good
since,
point.
right? And
he's a limited
it's nice
30-year-old
for us,
center.
right? Be on the sales floor. We're
And I guess
getting
it
pick-me-ups,
comes
but
to me. It's
been a
more
natural
about
pick-me-up
if
on the floor.
I had
So
drafted a bunch of
it's
young
made my
guards
job
on
a
my
lot
team.
easier. I have to give some
That's
credit,
one thing, but
it's not all me.
I've drafted like 4 7-footers, including Mo Bamba in the top 10. So
I did.
presumably,
I did.
I've got a glut of front court players, including Aaron Gordon, Jonathan Isaacs.
Yeah. So
and,
no, but it's been great.
Now Vucevic is just.
Obviously, we've been having.
I just feel like you're treading water with
talking
Vucevic.
about not eating the cheese. Have you heard that before? Yeah, so we've been making sure that
It's hard
we
to
keep the
say.
process going. We don't
What do you
eat
think
the
about Ricky
cheese. We
Rubio going to
continue
Phoenix for $50 million?
grind and work hard, ask for referrals, do everything
I guess
that
they got to
we
spend the
can
money,
to
right?
make
Good
sure
for
that
him.
we're doing the best for
good
the
for Ricky
business. So
Rubio.
it's
That
not
was
like we're taking our foot off the pedal.
I got a
now
note
that
here.
everything's great.
Felicia's going to try and
still
join
on
us in
go.
10 minutes
Okay.
off a laptop, so we'll talk about
Of course.
the Pelicans.
Yep.
I like the Pelicans,
Yep.
what they did too.
Full menu.
I love what the Pelicans did.
Yeah,
They added a couple of nice vets to go along with the young guys.
And the guy they got from Europe
we
supposed to be really good.
halves, fulls, 12s, 12-game plans, but we're running
JJ
low
Redick
on
keeps getting
12-game
big-time
plans.
paydays.
So, but
He
we
does.
have halves and fulls
Good for
right
JJ.
now, and obviously sweet plans.
And again, they've
So
done it. I mean,
anybody
I think
interested in
they've done
sweet,
what,
give Rasheed a call.
not to compare the two at all, because I don't think it's fair to compare,
But no, it's full menu.
I think one of the things the Magic did wrong, and I think the Cavs also did wrong with LeBron,
that's really important.
was try to go too much win now.
More That's obviously
and
going to
also
be
not
a
bringing
lot
in
of
the kind of
fun.
vets that
Churches,
could really
schools,
help Dwight,
businesses, any corporate clients
help
that want
Dwight.
to entertain in a
Hmm.
suite. I
And I
think
feel like
we're going
with
to be
between
one of
keeping
the more fun teams to watch in the NBA this year.
keeping the guards, bringing in the young guys they got from the
Yeah,
Lakers, plus the guys they have, I just think they put together a nice little team around Zion. I think they're going to be. I think they have a
I
chance to
know,
be a top
right?
four
That's
team in the West.
exciting just to hear that.
They're going to be fun to watch. They're going to be exciting. I can hardly wait to watch them.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
obviously, we don't know
for
what
sure.
Kawhi is going to do because
So,
that's really a big factor. But I think based on where it is now, I could see them competing
yes,
in the West pretty easily.
please, please do. And
Okay, we were
Jason,
talking
you and I have
offline, and
yet to
you
meet,
were
and you're
thinking
down here.
Kawhi
Please
Lakers,
stop
right?
by. Like, if you can come by the
I
Pelicans
think so. I mean,
facility, that'd be awesome.
he's in a
Show
position
you
I don't think
around,
any
maybe get
free
you
agent's
lunch
been
or
in his
something.
life, which is he's got carte blanche. Like anywhere he goes, no matter what he does, like as good as he was coming into this season, when you went to Toronto and you brought them a
Right.
championship as the best player in the
Okay.
Finals
All
MVP,
right. Well, this offer still stands.
you have nothing left to prove. Like everything you have is house money at this point, you know.
Hey, Jace, Philicia just joined us.
Oh, how you doing, Philicia? We can.
Great. Good, Rashid. How you doing? So, Rashid, tell me your story. Tell me how things have been going for you since you joined the team there. And how was today? JJ Redick, a great player from the Italian league. So it's getting kind of exciting down there. Well, Jason was saying maybe you guys are going to be a number 4 seed in the West. Whoa, whoa!
No, like I said, I think a lot depends on what Kawhi decides to do.
So, Rashid, anybody listening to the show, if they need tickets, they should look you up, right? Okay. Philicia, talk to me about how morale is right now and how things are going. Nah, but hey, you stepped in a good situation. There you go. It's a good way of looking at it. Oh, yeah. Are you selling full menu yet? Okay. So, what kind of ticket plans do you have right now? for sure.
Oh, I definitely think so.
I'm sure in everybody's plan where they rate the games A, B, C, D, I think you went from a D to an A. Or you went from B to an A, C to an A. You never a D. You had, yeah, exciting. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to when I get down there next time. I'm gonna have to buy some gear and come out to a game. There's no doubt about it.
And obviously, if you guys want to come to NCIS,
All right. Well, thanks, Felicia. Thanks, Chief. Take care. Keep going. Always fun house to hear how it's doing because that was a tough sell for a while. Now it's just rocking.
and I would say this has got to be probably maybe the best turnaround I've ever seen from a team losing a superstar in their prime, as far as I can remember.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you lost a 26-year-old top 5 NBA player, and nobody cares down here.
No,
Not even a little bit. Like everybody is just.
they turned the page quicker than any team I've ever seen.
And like we said, I mean, we mentioned a little bit, and she mentioned a little bit more. Like David Griffin has come in there and just reset that culture, put together. I mean, they put together a really nice team.
Yeah, they really did.
Derek Favors too is another,
And in a football market and an LSU market, they are really making some noise now.
Yeah, and especially right now with Breeze probably a year or two away from retirement, this might be the time. Get these young Pelican fans excited about Zion and just roll.
Hey, it was nice what Breeze did too, wasn't it?
It was very nice, yeah. And Zion again, like everything. I mean, he's got a. He's. I mean, it seems very genuine, but he's doing everything right. I think we mentioned that before, but like his attitude, the things he's embraced with the city, the Drew Brees, like everything is just he just seems to get it.
And that's what you can hope for in a young athlete, and you usually don't get it, but you can hope for it.
And maybe the fact that he's been a social media star for so long is part of it.
Yeah, you know what? He's kind of grown up with it, so he knows how to handle it. He's got a personality. He understands how to use it. He understands how to message. He understands the importance of being authentic. And I think those are all things you learn on social media.
I think so too. And again, I mean, as much crap as he's always taken from it, I think that LeBron James really never does get it. I mean, he was such a great ambassador.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he doesn't always get the credit he deserves for all the stuff he did. Is great. I mean, for as long as he's been great and in the spotlight, for him to still, the biggest knock is the decision and maybe quitting against Celtics in the playoffs.
Yeah. So let's go back to Kawhi. We were talking about Kawhi. So Kawhi said he was going to talk to 4 teams.
Yep.
And you know what, Jason? It's refreshing. He's the only one that must have read the NBA rule book about how to do the free agency thing because he's actually talking to teams. He hasn't signed with anybody, and it's past 6:00 on Sunday.
Yeah, because Durant came out and said he was going to only talk to so many teams, but that did not last long.
No, it didn't even happen.
No.
So we got Kawhi. So his choices were Brooklyn, New York, LA, and LA, right?
Yeah. And Toronto, obviously.
In Toronto. All right. So I'm gonna give you what since I've been wrong all year, I'm gonna give you my rankings. All right.
All right.
I'm gonna say Clippers, Lakers, Toronto, Knicks. But really, it's only those first 3.
Yeah, I think it's. I don't think there's any. I mean, I don't think the Knicks ever had a chance.
I think if they'd have signed somebody he could play with, I don't think he wants to go there and be the only alternative.
No, and like I said, I think with Durant, I mean, the stories have coming out that he's still sort of bitter. he didn't like being 1A to Steph. Not a 1A, but always going to be the not as he's always on the he's always on Steph's coat. It's like he's never going to be as good as Steph, kind of thing. So it's hard.
Yeah, and I mean,
Yeah,
it's interesting, Jason, because if as everybody said, he really wants to be the guy, then he should have gone to the Knicks.
yeah, I think so. I mean, how much do you think the injury played with that?
Well, I mean, I don't know if that's Dolan spinning it. I mean, they got more money than God.
It's true. No, I meant on Kevin Durant's part of being like, I'm out for a year. I got to, I need,
Well, I mean, part of this does, as more information comes out, I mean, the doctor that performed the surgery was the Nets guy.
Yeah.
He came to Oklahoma City to do the surgery. So maybe we should have read into that 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago that was where it was going to go.
Yeah, I think people sort of. I know on my I shouldn't say people. I should say me. I didn't take that he wanted to play with Kyrie that seriously. I guess I don't know why. I didn't think that was going to be as big of a factor.
Mm-hmm.
When clearly it was a huge factor.
Yeah, as was the DeAndre Jordan thing.
It was like DeAndre Jordan thing, which is even more bizarre because it's DeAndre Jordan. No offense to DeAndre Jordan if you're listening. I don't think you are, but
DeAndre, you were playing the Chris Bosh role.
Except Chris Bosh was good when he was there. DeAndre Jordan, and again, I'm sorry, Miss Jordan, and if you're a listener on your son's been washed in the NBA for at least 2 seasons now. Just saying. Not a season, multiple seasons of being washed.
Yeah, maybe this is a rebirth for him. We'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting.
It is. See, my rankings, I think it's Lakers 1, Toronto 2, Clippers 3. I don't think the Clippers really have a shot.
For some reason, I do. And I just think that what they would offer him is going to be ridiculous. It's not going to just be money.
No, and I know he has Jerry West. You got Jerry West down there, and it's a nice situation, but I really think, because like I said, I think he's in a position that no other athlete's been in a long time where, he can do no wrong. He's proven he is the best, he's talked about as the best player in the NBA, and, no one's going to question if he goes to the Lakers. If Durant went to the Lakers, that's a big deal. If Kawhi goes to the Lakers, not so big of a deal.
Although, if he signs with the Lakers, they immediately go to the top of the class as to the favorite to win the NBA championship.
And I also feel like...
But we remember the first year the Big Three were in Miami, and there's a lot of adjustments that have to take place.
Oh, there definitely are. And, along with that, we have... I think the other thing you look at, and again, not that you can read the tea leaves or those sorts of things, but the Lakers have done nothing in free agency other than create space for the third guy. And every other third guy is signed at this point. And I'm clearly not saying they already have a deal in place or anything like that. I just feel like they, I'm pretty sure they think they have him just based on that. Because they didn't even take meetings with most, they were just ready. They were like, we have this, we got Anthony Davis to give up, $4 million, which we're pretty sure he made up on Space Jam money, right?
Pretty sure.
I mean,
yeah, I'm sure, if you don't get it one way, you always get it another way.
Right. And you go from, you give a $4 million trade kicker, but you also got a part in Space Jam, which makes sense because you're Anthony Davis and you should have one anyway. But,
True.
At the same time, it's sort of like, oh, you took $4 million less and you're probably going to get an extra $4 to $5 million in your Space Jam money ticket. Which again, I don't really have a problem with. I think that just happens,
Yeah. Well, that's going to be interesting. I mean, this is the NBA has dominated the airwaves. I mean, it's been the NBA and the Red Sox Yankees in London, and that's been the news for the last 48 hours. But the NBA continues. The Yankees Red Sox is over with.
It is, but the NBA is about to run into its, not its kryptonite by any stretch, but we are football time now.
Yeah, they still got summer league, and the summer league was pretty exciting for a lot of people last
was.
year because you're going to see some of these guys. So they won't be totally off the pages. They still got a pretty strong 3-week run till all the training camps open
Oh,
up.
definitely. And again, I think we should probably, it was a little bit earlier in the season, but, Mike Conley to Utah is pretty nice because that was a nice little team that Utah had going.
Utah's doing a nice job building
They really
something.
are. And again, Utah's not a place where people like Mike Conley typically go. So the fact that you got somebody like that is pretty impressive,
So next year, just thinking about it in the West, because Golden State's going to be, I'm sure they're going to finish in the top 8.
I think so. I mean, not that you ever wish. I mean, you think about these things, but Steph had a lot of health problems. Now he's over 30 with a lot of miles on him.
Yep.
Draymond in the contract year, and like I said, I think it's a weird situation for because I think just like with Iguodala, like I don't think you want to give Draymond Green money moving forward.
Well, and Clay didn't sign yet,
No,
right?
he signed the max.
He did sign it. Well, I mean, he agreed to it.
He agreed to take the So,
all right. So, yeah, but I mean, Portland is going to be as good as they were last year, if not better. Denver, Utah will be actually the most improved of those 3 teams.
And then you look at a team like Denver, who was very good last year, and if Jamal Murray takes that next leap, which maybe he does.
Yeah.
And the other thing with Denver is they have Michael Porter Jr., who, missed almost an entire year of college with an injury, missed most of last year with an injury. But when he's been healthy, he's shown signs of being, another legitimate, give him the ball and he can score. So, maybe.
So I think the West is going to be very interesting. The East, I think Philadelphia could be better than they were last year.
I think Philly's going to be a lot better than they were last year.
And you get Philly, so you got the Nets, obviously, who are going to be improved, but not where they'll be a year from now.
But I mean, the Nets had a nice little team last year, and you basically you got that same team with Dinwiddie with another, assuming he stays healthy. You replaced, D'Lo or D-Rob. I mean, and again, you got to assume that, this is, if we're going to get a good version of Kyrie, this is going to be it, right?
I would say so.
He'll have at least a year of happiness. Because he can always sell himself on the fact that, he's got KD and the wings coming. So
Boston recovers from losing Kyrie by getting Kemba.
Right, but they got Kemba, but they also lost Al Horford and Aaron Baines, and they replaced those with Enes Kanter on a 2-year deal a while ago. And again, I like Kanter. I just don't know if I like him. He's no Al Horford.
He's not Al Horford, but I liked him for.
Oh yeah,
he's
got his limitations, but the dude can play.
Yeah. Who's your biggest losers besides the Knicks?
I have to go Rockets right now.
I'm going to go Charlotte.
Okay. You don't like Terry Rozier or Scary Terry?
Not like Kemba Walker.
I kind of get it, though. You pay Kemba Walker, as great as he is for that franchise and everything else. He's over 30. You're going to give him, a 5-year, $100-something million max on a team that's probably going to be just as bad as they were this year?
And that's what I mean. They didn't do anything to make themselves better, and they're getting
they've
worse.
Been bad pretty much since Jordan took over.
And the Rockets are a mess.
And if you're the Rockets, whether you're Aaron Gordon, Clint Capella, PJ Tucker, now you know that they've been trying. They want to get rid of you. I believe some of them. I mean, Chris Paul has always had issues with people he plays with, so I have no doubt that that's real. And again, I don't think the style of basketball Harden plays with is winning basketball long term. And I don't think it makes your teammates excited to play with you,
No. Let's go on to MLB All-Star. I'm excited that Josh Bell's an All-Star.
Oh, how could you not be?
And I'm excited some of the guys in the home run derby are going to get my attention because they've been hitting home runs. So I think they get a better home run derby this year than they've had for a couple of years now. Because people actually wanted to be in it, which I always find refreshing.
It is. I think that's the one thing. I mean, when we talk about, baseball falling behind, I do think the home run derby is always the home run. Like it's never done the thing that's happened to poor the dunk contest.
So
Like nobody wants to be in the dunk contest. But I think, and sadly I think about our Canadian former Pirate that, maybe had one of the worst home run derbies of all time. But even when you have a bad one, nobody really cares.
no, not usually. I mean, because you forget about it. It doesn't
Right.
linger on.
But I mean, we've had Bryce Harper, we've had the big names in it every single year. So
Yeah. But I like this group. We'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting. What else we're talking about?
we got to get a shout out to women's soccer.
Okay. I have watched the women's soccer faithfully when the U.S. is playing. So now we are lined up to play Britain Wednesday.
I'm going to be honest, I don't know the answer to that question, but that sounds right.
Well, whenever it is, I'll be watching it. It'd be fun if it was on the 4th of July.
I think if you could make it that way, you'd be about as high. I mean, that's,
So I'll tell you something I do want to watch this week. I want to watch the Joey Kobayashi 30 for 30 tomorrow night on ESPN.
Yeah.
The Good, the Bad,
The
and the
Good,
Hungry.
the Bad, and the Hungry. That's a fantastic title.
I know. And it's supposed to be all kind of behind the scenes stuff and all kind of things. Looks interesting to me. So I got to watch it. I don't know. They sucked me in on that one. So
I do have to admit, like it's fascinating.
It's fascinating that there's actually a story, that there's some intrigue and some suspense around this thing. Yeah. I want to see what this is. I want to see what all the intrigue is. I want to see if there are secrets to eating a bazillion hot dogs. I don't know.
And keeping them down.
But see, they've got some clips that look like, that don't look, they look like you wouldn't have seen them on television before because they're kind of gross.
Yeah,
so
like
what happens.
I did. You go on your little internet rant. I looked at some of the records. The all you can eat things. They have a chili one. The record is 3 gallons of chili.
How can you eat 3 gallons of chili?
I don't know how you eat 50 hot dogs in like 3 minutes. But
if you don't you think you drown yourself if you had 3 gallons of chili? God.
Yeah, they have some insane. When you look at the record, you're just like, half the time the normal response is just why? Why?
Well, yeah, why? Why is a good question.
It reminds me of there's a Simpsons episode where Homer's trying to break a world record. And at one point, he's playing a banjo with a cobra.
Yeah.
And they say, they're like, well, technically the cobra's playing the banjo. But it was just the whole, like, if you're watching it, you're like, yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, okay, so you've done the record. You played the banjo with a cobra more than anybody else in the world. But why?
Well, we both talked. We're both looking forward to. Was it sometime back in Hollywood?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the new supposedly the last Tarantino movie, maybe.
Hollywood. So I'm really excited to watch that.
That looks fantastic.
And I want to go see Yesterday.
It's not gotten great reviews.
It opened up this weekend. I'm still going to go see it. It just I like what it seems to be about.
Yeah, I think it's a cool premise.
But a cool premise. So I'm going to go see how they did the premise. Sometimes I like to go and just say, well, if they would have done this, this would have been the tipping point. But the Tarantino movie, that just looks so wild. I gotta be there opening night for that.
And I think, just because I do enjoy a good bad movie from time to time, have you checked out the trailer for Crawl? It's about alligators eating people during like a storm in Florida. But it looks like it's got like a budget. So,
hey, I watched 20 minutes of the original Annabelle the other day.
Okay.
I was scared. I was genuinely scared. I had one of those moments, you get that shiver up your spine. Yeah. So I don't know. I might have to watch that sometime in the daytime.
I think there's a new one of those coming out soon as well.
Yeah, Annabelle Comes Home, which is like it's almost like one of the Marvel superhero things. It's like all these demons and everything come through Annabelle. So yeah, let's see what it's
I know
like.
it sounds silly
I can
because
check
we
it
say,
out.
I know that they're technically quote unquote based on true stories because they're all from
Yeah,
not the what is it, the whose house was that? The Amityville Horror.
Amityville
And
Horror.
supposedly the couple that um you know de-demonized the Amityville Horror House had this whole room full of cursed objects, and Annabelle was just one. And yeah, the new movie
Yeah,
is about essentially that room.
yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
I'll check it out. I had it. I told you offline about my interesting meal this week. The Pantry Cafe in downtown LA, and their motto is "Our doors are never locked." And so the story is that when they opened in 1924 until today, it's never been closed. It's never been locked. 24/7, 365.
That's pretty crazy.
In and of itself, that's
Yeah,
kind of crazy, right?
I don't think anything about that. That's quite crazy.
Cash only. And the cashier's in one of those cages from like the
Nice.
1920s.
I would say living in New Orleans, we have
Yeah.
very many cash only places.
Oh,
New
yeah.
Orleans is a very cash only sort of place. No.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But so I had a breakfast at this place. It was amazing. I thought it was really good. And they had 3 different cooking stations in this place to make sure they keep up with the demand. It's kind of cool. Yeah, it's really good. That was my highlight meal.
And of course, you're in Clearwater Beach this week, so it'll be a lot of the similar places people have heard before.
Yep. Going back to Rib Shack, be going for Frog Pond, be going to Christino's. Yeah, all my favorite spots.
Every time.
Absolutely. I haven't been to Cooters in a while.
No, I haven't either, actually.
I like Cooters, so we'll see.
Yeah, I did not. I went to Cream, actually, which has some interest. I mean, I got a pretty standard super chai. It was like chocolate ice cream, which they make with the nitrogen. And it had brownie pieces, chocolate chips, and hot fudge. So it's basically like a giant chocolate overload, which is right up my alley. But they also offer some very crazy ice cream sandwiches. They had, like, Maria got a brownie ice cream sandwich, and you could see that they had fresh baked brownies they pulled right off the tray for the sandwich. But they also take Fruity Pebbles, Golden Grams, and a number of other cereals, and they make those into bars, which then they sell as an ice cream sandwich.
Yeah.
So,
I'm a big fan of anything with ice cream.
And again, it was it was a very good creamy ice cream, which supposedly they said is a result of the nitrogen.
The nitrogen.
If that's true, that's cool. I don't really know that for a fact, but
it's kind of cool how they whip it up right in front of you, though, isn't it? Yeah.
But it was excellent. So, yet more New Orleans food that tastes good and is bad for you.
What could be better than that? Well, I guess I'll be watching the Kawhi story this week.
And we both think an LA team, but we both think a different one.
Yeah.
Like I said, I really think, I know he wasn't in Space Jam, but I think he'll get over. I think he's fine with that. I don't think that's Kawhi's thing. But we could probably talk. He has done something bizarre, Kawhi Leonard, which he's sort of made New Balance shoes cool again.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a feat in and of itself.
Baseball was doing, pretty good with New Balance, but the last basketball player of note was James Worthy. And look how
now you have arguably the best player in basketball is rocking New Balance. And if he's on the Lakers rocking New Balance, who knows?
You're really. He's, wherever he goes, that shoe's going to be. So what would you say the odds of Toronto keeping him are? 3-1?
I think the problem with Toronto is
10-1?
he doesn't like. Supposedly, he is one of those people that just hates cold weather. And
that would do it.
Like I said, I think he went there and he did everything he could possibly accomplish. And I don't know if you want to run it back another year with Marc Gasol and some of the older guys on that team. Again, I think if he had a better injury history, I think you do a 1-1, sign with Toronto, play for a year, try to run it back and go for it again. But I think given his injury history, I think you got to take the 5-year max and just go with it. And again, like I said, I think, what else do you have to do in Toronto? They'll probably, if you had to erect a statue, he would be the guy you'd put a statue up, and he played there for one season.
Yeah. And it's the first NBA champion outside the United States.
Yeah.
A lot of
He's
firsts.
done it all. He's got nothing left to do.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's been interesting. So we'll follow that story this week, talk about All-Star next week. Maybe we'll have our minor league guest on next week, talk about promotions of minor league baseball.
And again, if you're at home and you were listening to the show and you have any questions, food, sports, entertainment, anything, just an opinion in general, please tweet at him, tweet at my dad, let him know. We'll talk about it on the show. We love doing that.
If you want some Pelicans tickets, look up Philicia Douglas and she'll refer you to her talented team.
Definitely.
Including Rashid.
All right. So until next week, please go rate us on iTunes and support us on Patreon.
Thank you for your support.